Hello, hello. Welcome along to this gentle yoga sequence. My name is Verity, and whether you are a beginner or you have been practicing yoga for decades, we are here today just to move at our own pace, meet ourselves where we are, and come out feeling just that little bit more lifted, a little bit more energized without completely overdoing it. Basically, one of the most important lessons that I have learned from yoga is that when you do go too far away from your current state of energy, that's when you tend to completely sort of flatten yourself out and feel depleted afterwards. So if you're feeling a little bit lower, a little bit flatter in mood today, we're just gently nudging into this bit of energy, vitality, and hopefully coming out the other side, feeling a little bit more uplifted. Oh, if you would like as well, you may like to have a block with you today. So if you've got one at home, you can just have that nearby. Totally optional, so don't worry if you don't have it. All right, let's get started. We'll begin today lying down. So feel free to just let yourself get comfortable for a moment. Just letting yourself rest back. Any little shuffles. And taking these first few moments just to arrive here in the present moment onto your mat. So beginning to notice the parts of your body that are in contact with the floor. Perhaps the different textures underneath your body, on your skin. And then from that sense of physical grounding, you might draw your awareness onto the sounds that you can hear in your space. Sounds that are close by. Sounds further in the distance. And then perhaps drawing your awareness back onto your body and just feeling the sensation of your breath. So notice the feeling of your breath moving in and out of your body just at the natural pace. So you're just allowing your body to breathe by itself, not needing to alter, change. Notice if your breath is coming in and out of your nose or your mouth, or in one way, out the other. Get a sense of whether your breath feels quite even between the inhales and exhales, or if there's a little difference there. And just continue to observe your breathing in that natural rhythm. You can notice if it does naturally change over time. And perhaps noticing if you can feel parts of your body kind of moving along with the rhythm of your body. So whether that's just a feeling around your face or your throat, or whether you notice your chest or parts of your ribs or abdomen moving with the breath. Just taking another couple of breaths there. And maybe beginning to notice now the entire sensation of your body here on the ground and any other sensations that are present. Maybe there is somewhere that's a little tight, a little stiff today, and you're just paying attention for a moment to the types of sensation in your body. Maybe it's even just your heartbeat or the temperature of your body. Being curious here, nothing to judge. There's no right or wrong way that your body should feel here. And if you're not feeling a lot, maybe it's quite neutral or a little numb, that's also okay. You can just observe that too. And then we're going to gradually wiggle into the fingers, the toes, maybe even the head, just gently rocking side to side. And eventually you might be able to tuck your knees up towards your chest or your stomach and just hold on top of the legs. Take a little rock side to side. And then you could just roll onto one side and press your way up to a seated position. It's taking your time. We're coming into a cross-legged seat if you are comfortable to do that. So see how you go. We're setting up this cross-legged seat to get a little bit of hip opening. Now, if you'd like, you could be sitting up on a block or a little blanket or anything if that feels a little bit better. Sometimes it helps to tilt the hips sort of angled down. So I'll let you decide if there's something you want to sit on. And then we are going to, from this cross-legged seat, think about maybe inching forward. And you can just see if that feels available in your body to lean forward a touch. Some people might be really far forward, others can be a little higher, as long as you can feel sort of opening of the hips and just coming into your breath. And just taking a last breath there. And gradually starting to walk back upright again. We're going to take the right fingertips just behind you, press down firmly, lengthen up your spine, and as you inhale, left arm up to the sky. As you exhale, look to the right as you twist the spine, cross that upper hand over the opposite knee. So it's your left hand to right knee, and you're turning towards that right shoulder. Now it's mostly your chest and your ribs that are twisting here, and your head is really just following where the body is taking you rather than the neck kind of straining around. Just take one more full breath. And on the next inhale, pick up your right fingers, bring the hand all the way over to the opposite knee. So you're kind of crisscrossing in front of your legs. You could hold on to those knees, you can reposition if you need. We're going to round the back of the body, tuck your chin towards your chest. And you can think about kind of rolling your tailbone back towards the floor a little bit. So there's a big C curve in the back of your spine. Maybe you feel your shoulder blades a little bit sort of creating space and stretch. One more breath. And as you're ready to inhale next, let's sweep the hands out wide all the way around to the ground behind you. You can place your fingertips down, roll your shoulders back and down, and open up your heart a little more. Perhaps you're just gazing or softening your gaze to wherever it's comfortable, just taking a last breath. And then back into neutral. You might lean back a little and switch your legs. So we're going to try and find the awkward cross. So whichever side is not your normal side. Always feels super weird to me. So see if you can do that. If it doesn't really work on one side, just stay with the same side is okay. If you're okay with this, then we're going to start to roll forward again. So a little folding forward and just finding your version of this fold. You can always wriggle a little as you're getting into it. And then we're coming back to that sort of fuller breath. So we want to try to breathe into the breathing diaphragm that sits underneath your rib cage. So you might feel sort of the upper abdomen, the middle of your back, expanding and contracting with your breaths. Last one. And as you're ready to inhale, let's come back upright. You'll take your left fingertips behind you this time, push to the floor, rise up through the right hand, inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. We'll cross that top arm over the left knee. Again, you keep that nice height through your spine, and then you're also rotating through the middle of the spine, in the ribs, the chest. Notice if you're sort of clenching up around your shoulders. Notice if you're clenching into your hips. Could you let a little bit of that clenching go? Last breath. And then as you inhale, pick up your left hand, bring it all the way over to the opposite knee in front. And again, around the back of your body, we're leaning and rolling back slightly and bringing your chin to chest. 2 breaths here. As you're ready to inhale, sweep your hands out wide, bring them all the way around to your lower back. This time you might interlace your fingers and then roll open your chest. So shoulders come back and down, heart is open. Shoulders just relaxing from the ears, space around your neck for a last breath. Nice. And then we will release the hands. Bring your knees and your feet out to one side and then coming around to your tabletop shape. We're just going to land here for a moment. Spread through the fingers, ground yourself. Lower your belly as you inhale to cow pose. Exhale, round your spine into your cat stretch. And again, lower down, roll open the heart. And take one more cat stretch round the back of your body. And then we'll land into neutral spine. So finding the middle ground between them. We're going to see if we can work into this core. So we're building a little bit more heat and fire from within. Take your left toes back behind you and squeeze into that back leg. You might like to point your toe back, nice and intentional with your feet, your legs, your left glute particularly. Either just stay here today, which is fine, you're still using your core to hold you, or you may bring up your right fingertips and take them in front. Now we're trying to really stay steady. We're spreading through that hand that's on the ground, reaching long fingertips to toes. Inhale here. Option just to stay with this. Or again, exhale, building on, bring your elbow into your knee and tuck in your core. So we round the back of the shoulders, hold in, and then inhale, straighten back out again. 2 more times. We exhale, elbow to knee, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, open out. Last one. Again, you can stop at any point if it's getting too much. Remember to honor your energy levels today. Last time to inhale out. And then bring your hand down, bring your knee down, and maybe you just take a little breath. Maybe you take a little wildcat cow, just kind of moving around, any kind of transitional movement that feels good. If your wrists are a little sensitive, maybe you come up, you give them a little roll. And then we're going to come over to the other side when you feel ready. Hands and knees. We'll stretch the right toes out behind you. Point through the toes, squeeze the whole length of your leg, butt is engaged. Nice and steady, either stay here or stretch your left hand out in front of you. So we're really pushing up or pushing down through that right palm, and you're sort of pulling up your heart away from the ground. Take another breath in. Option to flow. Exhale, elbow into the knee underneath you, round through the spine. You're hugging in, feeling your abs engage. Inhale out, nice and long. 2 more times. Just take it at your pace. If it's too hard to move with your breath, you don't have to. You can do it a bit slower, or you can skip the flowing bit and just take a rest. After you finish your last one, we're coming to child's pose. We'll bring the hands down, knees down, and sink your hips back to your heels. Maybe your arms are forward with the forehead resting down to the floor or a block. Or you can always try stacking your fists and resting your forehead into your fists. You can see what feels most comfortable in this moment. Notice how your energy is tracking. So it's really nice to take pauses along the way and notice if you need to adapt, if you've pushed a little too hard already, if you want to take things a little slower or easier as we go. Nice. On the next breath in, we'll start to press up. We're going to try out our downward facing dog. So you come to your tabletop, inch the hands just a little further forward, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips up to the sky. From here, a little pedal out of your feet. And then gradually you might come into stillness. So we're spreading the palms, hips to the sky, heads looking, sort of flopping down, and you're looking back at your legs. From here, we're going to gradually tippy-toe up to the very top of your mat. So inching the feet, maybe coming to your fingertips at some point, and then lifting the hands, folding into Uttanasana. So a little softness in the knees. Maybe you'd like to interlace your hands on opposite elbows, take a little rock. You could swing, you could shake or nod your head, or you can be more still. So just see what feels good in your body for the moment. Nice juicy bend in the knees. You can even try a deeper bend as though you're bringing your chest or your stomach down towards your legs. And then we'll gradually start to ripple up to stand. Keep your chin into your chest if you like. This is a nice way to hopefully not become dizzy when we stand up. Sometimes if you do tend to get dizzy, that might happen when you come from the ground up anyway. So just take a moment once you arrive to let the shoulders roll back and down. Let the palms flip forward so you're in mountain pose. You're just pausing here for a moment. Nice. Once you're ready to inhale, let's step the left foot back, warrior one. So we're going to plant the back foot down, rise the arms up if you like. Arms are just optional, so if it feels too much today, just bring your hands to your hips at any point and just take a break for as long as you need. But we are having that back foot diagonally forward, front foot straight forward. You can have a little bit of a width of your feet, like the train tracks that they're standing on, have some space. If you're on a tightrope, tends to get really wobbly. So find your version of warrior one for a moment. Hips are swiveling to face the front. Take another breath in just to stay. As you exhale, bring the palms together and point them to the front. As you inhale, like a bow and arrow, bring your left hand across your front chest, bring the elbow back. And as you exhale, bring it all the way to the front again. We're going to take two more like that. Inhaling each time to open the bow and arrow. Little swivel in your chest and your hips. Exhale, back to front. Final one. Nice. Eventually we land back at the front. On the inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, float your hands to your lower back, interlace your fingers there. Take a breath in to roll open your heart, shoulders back and down, firm up the feet. Exhale, lower, humble warrior. Allowing yourself to melt down inside this front leg. You can let your head completely sort of flop like a little floppy mop. Your hands could be at your lower back or they could be floating up over into the air a little bit. 2 breaths. When you're ready for your next inhale, come up the way you came in, all the way to stand. And we'll step on up to the top of your mat. You can release your hands, mountain pose. Just take a little breather. Just take stock of your energy again. Notice your breathing. It's a nice way to check in if the breath is really elevated or if it's still pretty smooth. We'll take the right foot back when you're ready. Inhale to your warrior one. Again, take a sec. If you need to reposition your feet, just take your time. Get set on this side. It's like we're drawing the right hip forward, swiveling the left hip back. So the hips are really nice and square to the front of your space. One more breath in. As you exhale, take the hands together and point them forward. Inhale, bow and arrow, right elbow back. Exhale back towards the front. And we take 2 more. like you really do have this resistance happening as you pull that right arm across. Really, if you have done archery, I think I can remember back to once or twice as part of some sort of school activity, trying to visualize back what that felt like. Last moment as you reach forward, we'll connect the palms, inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, let your hands lower to your lower back. Interlace your fingers. Maybe you can take the awkward interlace. So your thumb is on the other side of the thumb this time. Roll open the heart. Exhale, humble warrior. Allow yourself to soften down inside that front leg. So your legs don't really move. They're really nice and firm and steady. And then that's allowing us to sort of surrender some tension out of the head, the neck, shoulders. 2 more breaths. And on your inhale, come back up the way you came in, all the way to stand, and we'll take it to the top. Tadasana, mountain pose. Shoulders roll back and down. Taking stock once more. Nice. Feeling free to pause at any moment you need to take more of a break. Otherwise, we're going to step the left foot back. Warrior 2 this time. Open out your arms if you like. So your back foot this time faces the side of your room. Right foot is facing forward. A little bit wider stance quite often to find that Warrior 2 position. Gripping in through both feet into the floor. Stretching the fingertips away from your body, centering your weight between the 2 feet so that your shoulders are kind of over your hips. And then we look over that front middle finger. Flip both of your palms. Inhale the arms to the sky, straighten both legs. Exhale, flow back down, Warrior 2. Just 2 more like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. You can take it at your pace, faster or slower, that last one. Nice. Now we'll flip just the front palm now. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Back arm onto your back leg, reverse warrior. From here, see if you could straighten up your front leg, little modified reverse warrior. And we're coming into Trikonasana. This is where you may like your block. We'll see how we go. So we'll stretch the right hands out, or both the hands out to a T shape. We want to stretch the side of the body. Keep the legs relatively straight, maybe a micro bend in the front knee. Once you've reached as far forward as you can, you could bring the back of your right hand to press against the inside of your leg somewhere, left arm to the sky. If you would like that support from your block, you might need to just reach forward to grab that, put it inside or outside your leg, and maybe just your fingertips or wherever you need to hold to create that shape. So you do want to feel like the whole face of your body, your hips, is all facing the same way. And just taking a last breath. Don't worry about where your head is. It could be down, could be middle, could be up. And then bend into your front knee. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. Reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your hands to the floor to step forward to the top of your mat. You can move your block if it's in your way. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, roll and ripple up to stand. And eventually landing into mountain pose. We're going to come into our tree pose from here, our tree balance. So we're going to bring weight into that right foot. Hands can come into your chest and then open your left knee out. You might have your foot just there touching to the floor, toe on the floor. You could bring your foot up to your calf, or you could help your foot all the way up inside your inner thigh. So you just want to find whichever height feels right for you today. It's taking about 3 breaths, centering your gaze point somewhere ahead of you. Perhaps you're ready for your last breath. No worries if you've wobbled this whole time. We are eventually going to come on down. We're not trying to impress anyone here today, so don't worry if you do have the wobbles. We will just shake all of that out right now. Feel free to roll out, come back to your breath. Notice if you are holding your breath. And then we're going to come back to the top of the mat, if you've moved away like me, and we'll find the warrior two. So left foot forward this time, right foot back. So we're finding that same warrior two shape. Even things out. Grounding through both feet. We're sort of pushing the feet away from each other, stretching the fingertips away. Gaze over the front middle finger. Left finger forward. We'll flip both of the palms. As you inhale, reach the arms up, straighten both legs. Exhale back down. 2 more times. Inhaling each time you rise. Exhaling each time you lower back down. Eventually we meet back in warrior two. Gaze over the front middle finger, flip the front palm. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Back arm just on your back leg. Straighten up that front leg, the left leg straight too now. We open the hands to a T shape, finding Trikonasana. Left side of the body is reaching forward, left fingertips forward. Side body is elongating and then staying to grab a block or swiveling the back of your hand inside your leg, right arm to the sky. So both your palms are facing the same way as your chest, your hips and your face. And remember, the neck is just wherever you're comfortable, so have a play to just stay for one more breath. And then bend into that front left leg, reach the left arm to the sky, reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill your arms to the floor to step to the top, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. And roll to ripple up, chin to chest. Gradually unraveling till we reach mountain pose once again. We'll bring the weight into the left leg this time for tree pose. So just set up your hands there in your chest, weight into the left and open the right knee. Start to work out this side, could be different to the other, does not matter. Just find the right version of your tree pose, ankle, calf or inner thigh. Press the foot to the leg, leg to the foot. Now you know where you are. Maybe you're really focusing on your breathing in through the nose. Slow and steady on the exhales. Two more breaths. Nice work. Gradually allow yourself to come back down. Mountain pose. Either stay still or feel free to roll it out, shake it out, anything you need as you arrive back into your mountain. Really noticing how you feel as you pause. We're going to start to fold forward, coming towards the floor. So we'll walk the hands down the front of your legs, nice softness in your knees. And eventually you might bring your fingertips down, crouching to release your bottom to the earth. And then all the way down onto your back. We'll take your hands out to cactus arms. And then your feet out to the width of your mat. So knees are pointing up to the ceiling. Just take a breath in here. As you exhale, lower your knees to the left. We'll inhale back to center. And exhale, knees to the right. Again, inhale, knees to center. And exhale to the left. Inhale to center. And exhale to the right. We'll inhale up to center. And then lower the knees to the left. This time we'll stay. So you can take a moment to get settled. You may decide to look over the right shoulder if it's comfy in your head and your neck. If it's not, just return your gaze to neutral. And if your legs are already feeling nice, this might be enough in your spinal twist. Your hips might already feel a little something here. If you would like a little bit more, you could experiment taking the left heel onto the top of the right knee. So it's the left heel on the right knee, or left ankle on the right knee. But remember, you can just come back down if that's too much. 3 more breaths. If the left ankle is on that knee, we'll just gently bring it off. Draw your knees back to the middle and then take it over to the other side. Knees to the right. Option to gaze on your left shoulder, or if you notice that you need to just keep your gaze neutral here, that's fine as well. Option to take the right ankle onto the left knee, or again, if this side doesn't feel good doing that, just bring it back down. So it doesn't matter either way. Looking for that bit of a spinal twist, and you're getting a little internal and an external rotation in your hips as well. We'll take around 3 breaths here. If you've got your right ankle stacked on the knee, just gently bring it off. Draw your knees back into the middle, and we'll heel toe the feet a little closer. Bring the arms long down beside you. So we've got the feet at hip distance now. What we're going to do is cross into a little figure 4 stretch for your glute. So your left ankle over your knee, and your left knee sort of drawing away from you energetically. You don't have to push it, but just let it energetically draw away. And you may feel like this is already coming into your left hip and glute. If that's the case, just stay here. If you need a bit more, you can reach forward, see if you can catch behind the right leg, and then we're trying to relax the head and shoulders back to the floor. Sometimes you'll find it's really a bit of a strain to hold here and you kind of can't get your head and shoulders back. If that's the case, you could possibly try a pillow or a block, anything underneath your head. Or you can also take a little option of placing the right foot on a block, or again, anything, and then just resting your hands down. So you could find any of those options that feel like the right amount of stretch. And we're just trying to soften into the shoulders, the head, the neck. 2 more breaths. And then gradually bring that foot back to the ground. We'll switch it over. So left foot down, right ankle over. Draw the right knee away from you energetically. And either just remain, maybe this is already enough stretch for you, or if you needed more, you've got many of those options. So you may place your left foot into the block and rest there, or you may reach forward to hold the left leg and try to soften your head and shoulders back to the ground. So we're really working into the glute, but we want to be able to relax other parts of our body that aren't supposed to really be too engaged in this shape. It is hard when you're holding your leg though, so you're just doing what you can within the parameters of the shape. Two more breaths. And then we'll gradually let that foot come back down to the ground. If it's lifted, we'll unravel the legs. You could press your blocks and things out the way for a moment. Take your soles of your feet together into your sup, Supta Baddha Konasana, or your butterfly legs. So soles of the feet together, knees are open. You can rest your hands on your hips or your body somewhere. You could let them rest down beside you and just take a few steady breaths here. Reminding yourself, if possible, to come back to breathing into your diaphragm. It can even be nice if you want to hold around that upper abdomen. And just feel a gentle rise and fall around the breathing diaphragm. Last 2 breaths. And then we'll gradually release this shape, come into your final Shavasana, your final resting pose. So you can just let your legs perhaps stretch out, arms long beside your body with the palms turned up. If it's not super comfy, feel free to take a different position, bending knees or laying on your stomach or your side. So just take your time to get settled. Let your feet just fall open naturally as they do. You could either close your eyes or keep a soft gaze above you. And as we're arriving into Shavasana, just reminding yourself there's absolutely nothing you need to do in this moment. You're just where you need to be. There's no way you could possibly get this wrong. And can you give yourself permission here to just be exactly as you are and allow yourself to rest? Finding a little movement in your fingers and your toes. Maybe rocking your head gently side to side. And feeling your breath return a little more deeply and fully with time. And then very gradually, if you're feeling ready, you may begin to take your knees in towards your chest. And again, as we did at the beginning, perhaps a little roll to one side to gradually press your way up to a seated position. Just taking your time as long as you need to gradually emerge. See if you might bring your palms in together to heart center. Connect your thumbs there. Bow your head gently and offer yourself a little moment of gratitude here that you've created this space and time for yourself and for your practice of yoga. And even as we move off the mat, I would invite you to carry this idea of meeting yourself where you are, everywhere that you go. I wanted to dive in and just say thank you so much for joining me. I'm super passionate about how we can use yoga to help support our nervous system and meet our energy levels where they are on any given day. If you would like to stay up to date with other things that I'm working on, other ways that we can work together, please feel free to dive into my email list and I'll send all the updates through there. The link is down in the description. Thanks so much.